The 55th Paris Air Show is well underway with the big deals rolling in already, and one man who always has his finger on the pulse is Bill Alderman, founding partner of Alderman & Co. Well, Bill, you've been walking the conference so far. What are you seeing and hearing on the floor?
Well, Oliver, great to see you again. It's a good show. Obviously, there's some things we need to talk about that are concerning, but generally, and I've been doing these shows for almost 3 decades, this is a good show. People are upbeat, people are positive, there's a good vibe, if we can call it that, on the floor.
Yeah, we were at the Airbus chalet earlier on. A good start to the week for them.
Outstanding for Airbus. And you know, one of the things about Airbus is that they've, I think, done a good job of enjoying this period of success somewhat quietly. You can say that's cultural, maybe that's true. But Airbus is having a very good run, has had a good run for a while. They just announced a multi-billion-dollar order from the Saudis. Clearly the Saudis love the Airbus product line. The world loves the Airbus product line. There are issues with Airbus ramping up as fast as they would like, and we're talking to supply chain folks about some of that stress. But generally speaking, these are really good times for Airbus.
Of course, Bill, we can't ignore it's been a very difficult week for the industry after that terrible Air India crash. Just touch on that and how you're feeling that affects sentiment, and of course, Boeing.
Boeing has had a tough go. Kelly Ortberg has done a lot of good things to right the ship, but the ship was in trouble, right? The issue on the 787 is that we don't know yet. And the news is starting to speculate because that's what they do. Can't blame them, right? But it's not helpful. You know, we live with science and facts. There are very limited facts right now. You know, there's something about a RAM deployment. There's something about a picture with no flaps down, a video with gear down, a radio call maybe with a mayday saying not enough thrust. But that's not enough to make an investigation and determine if an airplane is unsafe, right? So we don't know what happened. Could it have been a fuel contamination event? Could it have been a pilot error? Could it have been an engine problem? Could it have been an airframe problem? So the answer is someday soon, tomorrow, next week, a month, 2, we'll know what happened to that aircraft with scientific certainty. And it may mean there was a mechanical design flaw with the airplane, but it also may mean it has nothing to do with Boeing. And so we just have to wait on that one, Oliver.
Well, staying with something else that also affects commercial aviation, how are you seeing the tariff situation unfold?
We have clients on both sides of the U.S. political spectrum, right? The Democrats and the Republicans. I won't make a political comment, but I'll make an economic comment. The tariffs have had no economic impact. Now, early on, they scared a lot of people. What does this mean? What does that mean? The reality is, and I'm not making a political statement, I'm making a factual statement, nothing's happened. There's been a lot of talk, but for the most part, when we ask our clients and our prospective clients, are you seeing invoices with a line item for tariff? And with almost without exception, like almost zero of the people we work with have seen an invoice for something they bought that had a tariff line in it. Most of the people on the floor here are ignoring tariffs because there's nothing there. But they're all worried that there could really be a line item there someday that really does affect their business.
Let's turn to defense then. The geopolitical situation ever worsening, it seems. Give us your view on how that's affecting things.
You know, war is tragic, and these things just need to stop. We all agree with that. I don't think anybody knows how to stop it, but we all agree it needs to stop. The only way that as a participant in the aerospace and defense industry, that I can be helpful, right, is to make sure that the Western world, the US, our NATO allies, have a really good defense, right? The Israelis have a great defense system, right? We have a client in the US, manufactures goods, products, services that go on to Iron Dome, right? There was a large swarm missile strike from Iran into Tel Aviv, and you could see on the evening news, they were spotted, the sensors picked them up, the swarm is visible, and massive amounts of rockets are launched Iron Dome out of Tel Aviv to try and take them down. And I think they got every single inbound weapon but one. But we're entering warfare where humans cannot be in the kill loop. We can talk about artificial intelligence, we can talk about other things, but the real issue is that if you watch it and see how fast the missiles come in and how fast the defense system reacted, there's no way a human could have had anything to do with that response. The times aren't there. And so, well, if it's got to react that fast, it can't have a human in the kill loop. Well, now we have defensive systems and maybe offensive systems where you have to have machine learning, AI, at least on the defensive side. Because if you've got, the old idea of World War II with a gunner shooting aircraft, rounds at the Spitfire coming in or whatever, no, right? And so we're entering a realm and we're dealing with clients and talking with folks where software and artificial intelligence that enables our weapons to move at non-human speeds is required to defend our civilizations.